Hey Taurus, and welcome to your November 2017 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky here to give you guys hopefully another amazing reading for your month ahead, as I feel like I'm trying to step into like my metaphysical cheerleader mode to help y'all navigate this month because it is a crazy month for you guys. So lots of unexpected things coming to fruition in October, lots of sort of unexpected avenues and new adventures that you're starting on, and a lot of things from the past really cropping up and sort of coming at you in kind of a weird to interpret type of way. Lots of, I feel, symbolic symbols coming forward, and ultimately lots of tests or lots of like lessons coming through as some kind of teaching method from the universe to you, Taurus. So, I feel, as you've probably seen from the title of this video, that November is probably the most important month of your 2017, or something that's very subtle happens, or even like really dramatic or glamorous things can come about during this time, but there's like a subtlety and there's a symbolic nature to your experience here that really determines a lot of your future. Okay, so I remember July was really huge for you guys as well. And at that period of time, I was thinking, okay, maybe July is the biggest month for Taurus, but I really feel like it's November, as I feel intuitively that December will be more of like a step back and a sigh of relief type of energy for you guys. November, something really has to be addressed. Things that you've been hiding from for a long time have to be confronted here. There's sort of a looming energy of the past or energy of acceptance and sort of difficulty with release that has to be worked with here. Jupiter is in Scorpio now. For you Taurus born at the cusp of like Aries and Taurus, you are having the Jupiter opposition transit, and it's a beautiful transit. It's a wonderful transit in its way, but there's a clearing that has to happen within you to make it a nice experience, okay? Jupiter is a benevolent planet. It sort of like scatters candy, and it sort of gives like good luck and good fortune. But I always talk about with Jupiter transits, like anybody who's in a bad headspace can completely give a negative tone to any kind of benevolence. Like if you think of someone who's in a really negative headspace, like it doesn't matter sometimes how much money they make or how many promotions they get or how many people, want to be with them in a relationship or something. Like they can make it all a difficult existential crisis, regardless of how much people would want to be in their shoes. So I feel that November is a purging period for you, Taurus, a cleansing period, a time where you rise above so that you can experience niceness and that you can experience benevolence, because there's something about your energy moving into November that is insatiable or is almost incapable of realizing that things are good, or almost incapable of being able to realize how blessed you are, or it's like it hasn't happened yet though too. For the majority of you guys, it's like waiting, I feel like, till after we get into 2018. Like, I feel like February or March, you start to sort of get into the first chapter of Jupiter benevolence. Because, it's new. Like, it's just come into Scorpio around mid-October. And, you're stepping into November with sort of a new energy. And a lot of you realize this. But this clearing, this purging, this heavy thing, as you can see, all these cards have kind of a heavy implication. All of this happens so that you can redo your spectrum for accepting benevolence and for accepting nice things into your life. Because the way that things are coming from October, it's like all the beautiful, wonderful things that are inevitably going to happen to you through this Jupiter transit would go unrealized if you didn't have this purging or process of purification. And ultimately it can be a really beautiful experience. I think that you guys should like cross-watch the Scorpio reading as well, because I feel that Taurus and Scorpio are the most affected by the Jupiter transit through Scorpio. So I'll talk more about the Jupiter transit there. I would also like to do like a specific video about it. Also made a post about it on Patreon. So that for those of you who haven't like followed me on Patreon, that link is in the description box. So you can find more information there as well. Anyway, so yeah, cross-watch the Scorpio video, check out more relevant posts on Patreon that I made to wrap your head more around like what this Jupiter transit will entail. But, dang, Taurus, like, whoa, like I wasn't expecting you to like sort of have all these heavy energies in November, because you think of a Jupiter transit, you think, wow, it's going to be a really wonderful period of time. But this really goes to show, like, when things get nice, when things start to change from like a negative defining experience into a really wonderful experience, like it shows how you have to be able to be adaptable. And that's where this really hits Taurus and Scorpio, because they're not the most adaptable signs in the zodiac. Fixed signs, especially you, Taurus, fixed Earth, hard to adapt sometimes, hard to change circumstances, and hard to once you make up your mind about something, it's really hard to get in there and change it. But there's definitely a change in your mind, or a change of heart, that has to sort of happen in November for you to be happy. And it's like, I know how much you guys want to be happy, and beautiful things come to you over the next year, a year and a half with Jupiter and Scorpio. And it's just like, this Taurus soul, or the Taurus sort of soul experience, has sort of chosen, I feel, to be happy, and has chosen to accept gifts and benevolence, versus like wallowing in like a negative cycle, or like continuing some kind of self-dialogue where you're like, yeah, that person really ruined my experience of life, and I'm going to choose to prolong that as long as I can, and blame other things. Jupiter isn't good with blame. Jupiter is like, we blame ourselves, we make everything with Jupiter out to be something beneficial. Even the most difficult experiences of life, Jupiter plays up. Like Jupiter is like the perfect lighting, it's the perfect makeup, it's the perfect things that really play up your good parts and your bad parts in a way that you sort of become like perfect. And it's a lot for your energy to take on, Taurus. I mean, just all these heavy cards, it's crazy. But for now, when I'm actually looking at them, you are turning your back on something. A lot of these cards have like the back turned. You have 8 of Cups, 5 of Cups, 10 of Wands, 10 of Cups. And 10 of Swords is kind of a back card too, because it's like being stabbed in the back. So you are turning your back on something. You're very much changing the way that you react to stimulus, emotional stimulus. You're very much reacting differently, which is good, because maybe that says to me that you've already started this sort of process of adapting, of, changing the way that you view things in life. I feel that a lot of you are back in old circumstances, back in places that you used to live in. Maybe you moved back to your hometown. Maybe you've or you're back in an old job. Something feels reminiscent of the past in your energy. And it's like, but you're experiencing it in a completely new way. Or you're sort of like, having an existential crisis that I feel that I myself have sort of been having, where you're in an old circumstance, and like you see all of these old like scenery and old like backdrops of life. But it's like so much has changed. So much has changed in who you are and what you represent as a person. But it's sort of like, it's jolting to sort of be in environments that you used to be in as a different person. And you're definitely having a major soul evolution through this experience. Pay very close attention to where you're at during November, Taurus. I feel like places that you go unexpectedly, where you're choosing to work, where you're choosing to pursue your life right now, there's something really important to learn from like your surroundings, and less important the people in the surroundings and like the surroundings themselves. I feel that November is not the best month to be involved with people unless it really ties into like changing your reactions, or working with something to heal, or choosing to look at things more positively. Because I feel like there's been a problem in your energy from the sense of like how like you make a decision or you spin something and then it's done. It's like it never changes. It's like very stubborn. It's very stagnant. And again, you're being very much pushed by the universe to be adaptable. When the universe pushes, it doesn't matter how you resist. You can either, let it be a nice smooth turn, or you can sort of like let it break your back, and get forced into it. And a lot of you, I'm so proud, are really working with the universe, really meeting it halfway, really the best thing anybody, all 12 zodiac signs, but especially like Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, the fixed signs, the best thing that can be done right now is to smoothly allow the universe to kind of send you in a lot of different directions. Like, see where your energy lies. What do you enjoy? Take this time to sort of be like a toddler, to be like a really young child, and sort of breathe in your atmosphere, breathe in your surroundings, and sort of disallowing yourself to see things as the past version of yourself, or to see things from a light that you actually are not benefiting from anymore. So definitely working with just new, like really like, and even relating to like old relationships that have been in your life for a long time. Experience them in a new way. Are you thinking of a person from your past? Are you thinking of an ex? How does the person that you are now feel about it versus the person that you've been like over the last year? It feels like there are so many changes happening. Really work with that and really prioritize how you are actually feeling, because I think that something that has been so potent for Taurus and Scorpio both has been like not knowing how they feel, or like really being stuck in I feel this way, but realizing, whoa, that's like just the surface. That's just the tip of the iceberg. Jupiter in Scorpio is like the antithesis of that. Jupiter in Scorpio is the content, it's the substance. It's not the tip of the iceberg. It's like we've hit the tip of the iceberg and we're going deep and we're getting down to the root of the iceberg. Jupiter in Scorpio is like the root of the iceberg. I'm gonna have to like make a post about that or something. Anyway, is there anything else I want to say? This is gonna be such a long reading before I get into your week to week. Know who to trust during November, Taurus. Trust in other people is a problem. Trust in thyself, I feel, is very good right now. Having 3 of Swords, 10 of Swords, and 9 of Swords is a problem if you're relying too much on other people. Okay? People may not have your best interest at heart. Very, very possible. People can take advantage of you during this time. I feel like group projects or things at work come to mind. Like, I feel like people are being really nice to you and you think that they care about you, when in reality, it's like they just want you to do their work for them. You're very much like, picking up other people's slack, it feels to me, during November. Beautiful to see you release that, and beautiful to see you like not sacrifice your energy just for the sake of being accepted by other people. There is sort of a pain relating to acceptance and relating to like people, and like people that you're around really often, and wanting to be accepted or wanting to be like the star of the group type of energy. Watch out for that, Taurus. That's not such a good thing right now. You've got to really learn how to be the star of your own existence. Like, it feels like you're really being affected, and it's so normal. And I don't want to like get caught up in like a weird thing there, Taurus, because it's good for you. It's good for you to be the star and popular. Like, you're a Venus sign. Like, that's normal. And you will tend to be popular. The problem is when you try. Taurus shouldn't have to try to be popular. If you feel like you're having to try, or if you feel like you're having to like pick up other people's slack or having to do favors to gain popularity, you're not there, and it won't happen. You know, Taurus is like naturally really desired and really longed for. So if you're feeling like unpopular, or if you're feeling like things like you're the outcast, or you're feeling, I don't know, pushed down, you're not in the right place. So think about other possibilities. Think about what groups you fit into, because that will definitely be a thing with Jupiter and Scorpio. Will be like, it will show you where you don't need to be, and it'll show you, which is a blessing at the end of the day. It can be hard in the beginning. Like, we're seeing the beginning here in the sense that you might have to deal with a bit of like, rejection or something, but it's sort of like you have to watch your Venus nature in that way, because it's sort of like you have to be cruel to be kind. You know, it's a universal kindness that you're dealing with this rejection right now, because you're not going to invest all of your energy into something that would have never given you something anyway. So this rejection now is a blessing, and that will be what you need to do throughout November, Taurus, is to understand how things which might not feel just beautiful are blessings in disguise. Huge month for blessings in disguise. Okay. A good month to be single, honestly. For those of you who are coupled, I feel like there are unspoken psychosis or something, or unspoken unspoken unforgivenesses in relationships. A really good month to be single. I'm just feeling it really strongly. So for any of you who've been feeling like, I've got to break up with this person, it's not a bad month to do that. It's not a bad month to talk to an ex, or to clear things up with somebody who you have like a lack of closure with, because this month closes something out. You let go of something here, and that suits your purpose in an amazing way. Something at the same time can't go on either. Whenever I see 9 of Swords, it's like something can't go on, and I'll talk more about that when we're in the week to week. I don't really know what else do I need to talk about with with intuitive messages because there's just like so much flooding forward. You will meet new people this month, Taurus, and you will be in new groups of people. I feel like you're really coming out of your shell. You just have to beware of how you react to rejection, and some of you won't even have to deal with that. Some of you, Taurus, who aren't being like too affected by Saturn or anything, some of you will just fit into like groups and be really popular. But some of you will also deal with rejection. So just be prepared to feel blessed by rejection if that feels possible. And walking away from a lot, releasing old patterns, not needing that addiction. Like, it's okay to just let go of addiction here, Taurus. Like, I feel like you get caught up in like your addictive cycles as a person and think, okay, I'm never going to be able to stop this. I'm never going to be able to like quit smoking. I'm never going to be able to like get better from my sex addiction or whatever it is. Like, it can honestly in November just go. And that's the beautiful thing about Jupiter and Scorpio too. It's like things die so easily. There's a specific year and a half period every 12 years where addictions can be kicked, and that happens to be Jupiter and Scorpio because it really expands the ability for things to just die off. So like anything that you don't want anymore, Taurus, like just say, affirm that, like, I don't want this addiction anymore, and it'll be gone. Like, and don't question that. Like, some of you might be thinking, well, addiction is just like how I like really deep down in your unconscious there can sort of be this like well, I don't want to smoke anymore. I don't want to have this addictive cycle anymore, but it just feels so natural and easy that I shouldn't really try to stop. Just be intuitive with it. Let go of the addiction. Wonderful, wonderful month in that way. And it's amazing to see how, like, with all these heavy archetypes, how, yeah, this is probably the most defining month of 2017 for you. At the same time, it's really beautiful and really amazing. And I'm getting like chills. Like, it's really healing for me too as a Scorpio, because I see how this Jupiter and Scorpio energy affects sort of the other end of the spectrum. But anyway, I want to go ahead and get into your week to week so we can understand more like what's happening on that level. So first week, you guys have 8 of Cups rooted down by 9 of Swords. As I was mentioning with 9 of Swords, something can't go on. Something can't continue the way that it has for a long time. And it feels like it's very easy to walk away from. It feels like you could be moving in the first week. You could be concerned about your location. Maybe you have like a long commute or something that's just not working out in your favor, and you want to move, but you're worried about moving back to that place, or you're worried about moving... something about moving back. That's something that's really prevalent in your reading. It's like so many of you are revisiting old places or revisiting old people with the intent of ultimately letting that go, which is good. It's good to move past things. But definitely thinking in the first week, like, what are you walking away from? What are you leaving behind? Through not going back somewhere, what are you leaving behind in doing that? There's sort of a weird paradoxical thing going on where it's like you don't want to go back to an old place or an old way of being because you associate that with a difficult period of your life. But at the same time, it's like through not going back there, you're walking away from something that you need. So work with stepping into that Scorpio archetype, where you're not afraid of going back to the past, where you're not afraid of going to the depths and, reaping your power and your humanity from your difficult experiences. There's something, this is it. I just got chills. There is something squeamish about Taurus and finding their power in their past, finding their power in their pain. There's something like, oh, I just can't handle it. And that's natural. Again, you're a Venus sign. So, things which are sensual and smell nice and are like beautiful attract you, and things that are more gruesome, like something that I like to say, every single Taurus that I know has passed out when they get their blood taken. Every single one that I know. And I doubt that all like 40,000 of the Taurus who like watch my monthly reading here, I doubt that like every single one of y'all have passed out during like having your blood taken, but a lot of you do. A lot of you are squeamish to things like that, and you're really going to get empowered and get more strength and endurance from this Jupiter, and you're called in the first week to really set that off with a bang. No need to be squeamish, no need to be so affected by the past. Like, so many of you have like let go and have like run away from something, or have left something behind, and that feels empowering to you, when in reality, it's like there's this squeamish nature to that, and there's like, I just can't, I'm not strong enough to even think about handling it. But you're strong enough now, Taurus. You're powerful enough to reap what you need from the past in, I want to say, a graceful way. And I think that that's something that you're worried about. I think you're worried about like reaping your power, or like getting closure, letting someone who was important to you from the past understand how things actually were for you, I think you're scared of that because you're afraid you'll hurt them. You're afraid to a lesser extent that they'll hurt you. And by hurt, I mean, I'm not talking like physical. I mean, maybe for some of you, but I'm talking like you don't want to cause pain to other people. You don't want to ruin someone else's day or hurt someone else. I feel like Taurus, I feel like it causes more pain to leave things unended or to leave things untied. It almost feels unstitched or unput together. I feel like that's more painful. And there needs to be that realization for you. Allow closures this month. Allow things to gracefully culminate. There's a graceful culmination coming for you guys, and you're worrying yourself that it's like you won't be able to have the grace, you'll like lose control or something, but you have a lot more control than you're giving yourself credit for, and a lot more ability to end things gracefully than you realize. So definitely embrace that during the first week. I feel like, and it makes sense. I mean, the first week of November, like Jupiter will strongly sort of be into Scorpio at this point in time. Like, start it off with a bang. Do something important here, really. And also thinking about your spectrum of important too. You know, sometimes the most important thing is, like I like to say, like going to Starbucks, getting a coffee, and realizing, okay, here I am. This is how things were for me. Sometimes that's a really big universal thing. Although I do feel like when I said that, it felt a little bit shallow and it felt a little bit like not the case. Maybe there is something really more far-reaching and more physical that you can do, but I feel that realizing it is half the battle and then carrying out the action is sort of the next step. In the second week, you guys have 3 of Swords reversed, rooted down by 10 of Wands. Some of you who are coupled can go through a breakup in this week. Some of you can feel betrayed as that also continues into the third week. Just the middle of November, like breakups can happen, divorces can happen, falling outs in general. And it can even be at the self level. Like you can, lose a determination you've had for yourself, lose a powerful, part of what you thought you could be. That sounds very abstract, but, you're basically facing in the second week, like something that would have broken the heart of a past version of yourself. Like, again, I'm sort of thinking of this more squeamish version of Taurus that has been kind of prevalent over the last 2 or 3 years. And it's like, it would really be chaotic for you, but now it's just not hitting you. Like 3 of Swords reverse is actually one of my favorite cards or archetypes, because it's like something that used to would have broken your heart no longer has that effect over you. So on one hand, it's really good, but at the other side of things, you have to understand how it affects other people, I feel, because it's very easy, I think, in the second week to think, okay, this isn't a problem. This no longer affects me. I'm going to really bury myself in work or bury myself in like responsibilities. And because I'm busy, I don't have to own up to anything. Watch out for that type of mentality. Things like work or school or like business are not as important this month. Like those things need to be on the back burner. There are some really important things that have to be addressed here and now about your happiness, about what you want at a core level, about who's been affected by you, about who's affected you, and relationships and your happiness as a person is more important. Now, be very careful with what I just said. Do not allow what I just said to like make you self-destruct and like quit school or quit your job or something and think, okay, Sky said that I've got to focus on my relationships. I'm just going to let everything go into the gutter and, you know, like completely mess up my momentum as a person. No, things have, you have like mundane responsibilities this month for sure. And a lot, it feels like for those of you who've started new businesses or for those of you who have like started a new degree path or something, it's really successful. People really like you. You're becoming popular. You're having a lot of work. You're having a lot of responsibilities to own up to, and you've got to keep that going. But the danger is through doing that, you forget the lessons of the universe. You forget your like moral responsibilities. So moral responsibilities versus mundane responsibilities. There's going to be a battle of that in November, and moral responsibilities have to take priority. You have to find your integrity here while still being able to continue your more inanimate aspirations and goals right now. So yeah, that's the only deal with the second week, is it's like you can get really caught up in mundane things and let that overshadow you. Or you can sort of, like, I feel like it'd be good to get a massage in the second week. You could be feeling like your back hurts because you've been, like, sitting up working on a research paper. Or maybe you have, like, a lot of physical things in your work that are making your back hurt, watch out for posture. You have quite a few things that deal with bad posture. 9 of Swords, 10 of Wands, 5 of Cups. All those are like hunched over. Like, good posture in November, Taurus. Come through, please. Okay. Anyway, I'm enjoying this reading, guys. Like, I don't know if you're sensing it, but like, I'm feeling so empowered by this, even though it's like really dark, difficult energies. Like, and I guess it's just me as a Scorpio, but like, I feel like this is a really wonderful reading, and I feel like it's helping me. So I hope it's helping you guys. Anyway, third week, 10 of Swords, rooted down by 10 of Cups. Look at all these 10 cards. You have 10 of Wands, 10 of Swords, 10 of Cups. Culmination, ending of a chapter. Get it over with in November, Taurus. End these old cycles of like self-sabotage and sort of like an energetic, squeamish, like inability to face what is gruesome, even though it's there and it's prevalent. It's over now. It's over. Like this sort of chapter of your life where it's like, I'm not strong enough. I'm so small in the face of adversity. That chapter is over, Taurus. You are gaining power. You are gaining momentum. And you are coming face to face with that in the third week. So, a lot of you are in a relationship that is better than anything you have ever experienced in your life. And for those of you who are single, which as I feel it is best to be single in November for Taurus, for those of you who are single, you are understanding what that could be for you. You are having options. You could meet that type of person who's like, wow, this person is completely what I want in the third week of November. An interesting time to come into contact with Scorpios in the third month of November. That's kind of an interesting thing as well. Also, any water sign, though. I'm just getting like water energy for some reason because that 5 of Cups kind of overshadows that as well. So look out for water signs during the third month of November. For this reason, I was talking in the beginning of the reading, it's good to be single. Watch out for people's intentions. Watch out for who you can trust. 10 of Cups and 10 of Swords, I really don't like those energies together because it's like the people who you've put the most confidence in can be like your biggest saboteur right now, or can really not have your best intentions at heart. And it's like they can think that they do. Like 10 of Cups is like, oh, family bond, white picket fence, like we're all a family. I see this like this combination, like friends who are like really close. Like there's like, wow, this person really has my back. But in reality, they have your back through the swords that they've sort of stabbed into it, and through the control mechanisms that are, present in the relationship. And it's like, you guys know it so strongly, but there's a security in that. Taurus is one of those signs who kind of likes to be controlled. It's on that opposite spectrum of Scorpio. It's like, don't control a Scorpio, but Taurus, it doesn't like it if it thinks about it, but there's something secure in being controlled. Like when you're given your rules, when someone tries to control you, it can make you feel like, how like babies and infants like to be like constrained, or they like to like have their like wraps tied tightly. It makes them feel secure. I feel like this can happen with Taurus, as it's such a young sign and it's that fixed earth energy. So there's something about you that really likes to be like hugged and held tightly. So that can happen energetically as well. And I feel that that's happened to you guys, regardless of whether you're single or coupled right now. And it will be good to think about like, okay, would it be nice to be free for once? Would it be nice to like maybe hold myself instead of relying on that from somebody else? Watch out for people's intentions towards you. It feels like there's been such a problem with like people having like nice faces or smiling or nice tones of voices and thinking, oh, that person has my best intentions at heart. Taurus can be simple to fool in this way. People who are nice looking or people who give you nice feelings are not always your friends. Okay. And again, Jupiter and Scorpio won't tolerate any more of this like BS, Jupiter and Scorpio will sort of give you that Scorpio like lack of rose-colored glasses. Like Taurus has a major case of rose-colored glasses sometimes, and no longer with Jupiter and Scorpio. Like you just won't be able to tolerate it anymore. And if you try to force yourself just to like, be an old version of yourself and to continue this sort of cycle of, oh, you say that one thing, that means you must mean it. Like, because Taurus tends to mean what they say. That's one positive thing about a lot of earth signs, but especially like Taurus and Capricorn. You guys like say what you mean what you say. So if you like smile at someone, or if you're nice to someone, it's usually because like you actually have good intentions. The rest of the world is not so much that way, and you see that very clearly here. because something happens in the third week where you're like new and you're like, I'm over it. I'm over this cycle of, being stabbed in the back, and then people like wanting to hold me and think, oh, look at how wonderful everything is. Look at this life that we've created together, and then proceeds to like, backstab you. And that hurts me to see in you guys, because your energy is so beautiful, and it's been so beautiful for such a long time, and you just continue to like find yourself with the wrong people. And it's okay. It's life. People go through this. People have this experience, and you can surpass it now. You can come past it. You can rise above it. You can finally surround yourself with people that matter here, but you have to choose it. And you also have to like watch out, because like I feel like what I'm saying is good, but there's a sensitivity in Taurus right now that I feel like I might be sort of trampling on, in the sense that it's like some of you can trust people, and it's like through me saying this, maybe you start to mistrust people. Like you'll know. Like, don't think just because I've said it that it's prevalent. For a lot of you it is, but obviously everyone's chart is different. You'll know when you can't trust people. Like, you will know it. And like, you have to think about like, okay, when this person has been in my life, have I been really happy? When this person has been in my life, are things smooth and easy? Have chaotic things happened when this person re-entered my life, or when they left it? Are those specifically chaotic times of my life? If the answer is yes, usually that's how you can identify that this person is a problem for you and will continue to be a problem. If it's just smooth sailing and it's always easy, and then it's probably fine. But I would definitely look deeper into things this month, because you move into the fourth week, you've done something right. Something's been addressed, new people, new surroundings. Page of Cups reversed, you're down by Page of Pentacles. It's like it's flatlined. It's like it's taken on a monotone. Like it's so intense and dramatic over the first 3 weeks that you come through on like the other side. It's sort of like you've had some kind of survival scenario or something, and you kind of rise above a lot of things and ultimately meet new people. I feel like some of you are dating during the fourth week of November. I feel like some of you have released, because you can kind of be more vulnerable. You can kind of think about pursuits. That's how I feel, is like new businesses with Page of Pentacles, new spectrums for feeling with Page of Cups. It's overall positive in the fourth week. I feel like the fourth week is the easiest week of the month, but the first 3 weeks are just like this. These are like the most 3 important weeks of your of your year. So really think about what you're doing here. Small actions mean a lot. 5 of Cups reversed is your central theme. More optimism is a good thing. The pessimism and what you may even be thinking is realistic is sort of too much right now. Jupiter and Scorpio can be a little bit pessimistic, and because Jupiter is an optimistic planet, right? It rules Sagittarius as well as Pisces. So it's very optimistic. It's very like expansive and philosophical. So if you're trying to like be pessimistic, or you're trying to think, well, that person put me through a bad situation, so there's just no sense in, trying to make things right, or no sense in like, working with any of it, then you're going to like set yourself up for bad karmic experiences, because Jupiter says, what, things have happened, things have, had a difficult experience, but we are going to make it right, and we are going to be optimistic, and even if we have to leave things behind, we are going to leave things on a positive note. So it's weird to see how this Jupiter energy kind of mixes with like the Pluto Scorpio energy. It's like, even if it's difficult, we're going to leave it on a positive note, and we're going to do like the healthiest thing and not be vengeful. Like anything that has to do with revenge or retribution, or like, I'm going to be the most successful person so that everybody sees me as successful and they feel bad about themselves. Anything like that really sets you up for a weird cycle. So be careful with bad intentions, and people with bad intentions. And you guys are beautiful. You're amazing. You're probably one of the most activated signs right now. And the choices that you make are amazing to watch. I'm baffled by what I'm seeing for you guys. And even like, as some of you guys know who've like worked with me personally, like I love tarot. It's a huge thing for me. Like it's sort of what my channel is based on. But at the end of the day, I'm an energy worker, and I get like intuitive insights and sort of pulses of energy and pulses of like visual imagery about like what a collective group of people are going through. And for Taurus, it's just so powerful to me and so like energized and so activated. So use it wisely. And you're stronger than you've been in a long time. you're stronger than you've been in very long. So you can't really use like, oh, I have to heal. Oh, I just have to get my life together as an excuse anymore. Because if you get stuck there, you just won't really do anything over the next year and a half. And that would be tragic with Jupiter and Scorpio. So really get out of that headspace. You are strong, you are powerful, you can accomplish, and you can gracefully navigate old, worn out, difficult energies. And it is going to be beautiful and amazing to watch and very healing for humanity on the whole. Super long reading, probably the longest one of the month. If you guys would like to book a private reading with me, you can do that in the description box, as well as if you'd like to follow me on Patreon, as I put a lot of exclusive content out there and early access and ad-free access to readings, a bunch of fun stuff, as well as checking out the Ascendant series. I'm not sure if that's up yet, but spoiler, I'm doing an Ascendant series, so that playlist might be on the screen now as well. I love you guys, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you so much for your subscribes, your likes, your comments. My life has been made absolutely incredible by this YouTube channel. I love you guys, and I will talk soon. Bye.